Good evening, everybody. It's Ray Gibson. And I'm going to play a little music. I do not own the rights to this music. But I told everybody about a week ago, I think, that I would go live. And it's been more than a couple of days. And I felt like dressing up today. No, I don't dress like this normally. I want to make sure this music isn't too loud. So I'm just going to sit here for a minute, see who comes in here. Let's see. Hello, Xavier. Xavier. How you doing? Who's that? What's up, Jay? I think that's Jay. I don't see very good without my glasses. I may have to put them on every once in a while to see what's going on. And I'm not going to be one of these that tell you, hit that share button every 5 minutes. But if you'd like to invite your friends or whoever, come on in. I'm going to try to figure out how to invite some people myself. Oh my God, I can invite the whole planet if I want to. I have a lot of Facebook friends, folks. Okay, I'll just do this for a little bit. I'm not really, I said that I would do notes, take notes, and speak from those notes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it on the fly here, and just talk about whatever I want to talk about. I thought a lot about gee, I probably should have done this before I started this live. Okay. I can do this forever, but I won't. Just invited a few people, just going down the list. What's up, Anna? Yes, I do what? Hi, Wanda. I guess as things start scrolling up, I'm not going to be able to see them. Anyway, for people who don't know, I am a baby boomer. Okay, now it's time to turn off the music so I can just talk. I grew up during the civil rights movement. Although I was not old enough to participate, I'm going to tell you right now that it probably had more of an effect on me growing up in that environment than most of these people running around this platform that are reading it from history. I was part of that history. I watched my mother's reaction to what was going on during the 60s. Although we had limited television, we only had 3 channels back in those days. There was no cable. I was able to watch the entire movement go down on television. And my mother's reaction to our leaders being assassinated and murdered was the most intense thing that I'd ever seen to that point in time. When John Kennedy got killed, Martin Luther King got killed, Malcolm X got killed, Martin Garvey got killed. Who else? Hello, Marianne. Yes, ma'am, I'm finally live. I promised I would do that, and I'm a man of my word. I may be a little late here, but I do live my life with integrity. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So where was I? Yeah, the impact of the civil rights movement was huge on me. Even though when I grew up, I more or less took off in another direction. I joined the military. I am a United States Air Force veteran. And, but I'm going to tell you something. You couldn't pay me right now to serve for the rights of people who do not like us in this country. But I did so. I did it as a job to get out of hot water that I was in, because my life was, I took my life down a very strange path. Drugs, alcohol, partying too much. And I wanted to change my life. So I appreciate the love, y'all. So I did join the military, and I got a very lucrative career out of it. I am not retired. I'm just a veteran. And but I was a data processing specialist who landed in Silicon Valley. So that set me on a path of having the most incredible career anybody can even ever imagine. But let me tell you a little story about something that happened to me while I was working for Tandem Computers in Sunnyvale, Cupertino, California. I happened to be around when Rodney King got beat up by the police, and I watched the hearing that went on over the Ku Klux cops who beat him up, and when he got acquitted, I was so angry. And let me tell you why I was angry. I was reading Malcolm X's autobiography at the time, and I hadn't gotten to the part at the end of that book where he, I don't think he did a kumbaya thing, but he realized when he went to the Mecca and met different kinds of people that, maybe his hard line on being a Negro at the time was a little bit too hard. But when he came back, he was going to start his own organization. And anyway, I'm getting away from what that story was about. I was so angry when those police got acquitted. I was in my office, and everybody was talking about it in the hallways. And they were talking about it as though there wasn't a black man or a black person standing there listening to them. So I went off on them white folks. I hated white people at that time because they were judging what was going on in LA. And, anybody who is a Moor in this country understands that kind of anger. We understand that, every time they get away with doing this kind of thing, that it sets us on fire. So those people thinking that I was a white black person working for that company found out real quick, no, I wasn't. And don't you dare freaking say anything about what's going on down there, because I'm about to join them. I'm about to go down there and start rioting with everybody else. But I didn't do that. And instead, I sat around there, but I was seething, and everybody knew it. And, you know, would they would see me coming down the hallway, they would turn down another hallway. And this went on for about a month. So see, it doesn't matter what kind of position you have, what kind of status you have in this country, what kind of celebrity you are or that you are not. If you are melanin, if you are a Moor, which is our ancient name before we got brought to this country, you know, there was a lot of beauty around being melanated and being African in this world before it got colonized. We are beautiful people, and we need some air here in this country. We need people to stop calling the police because they don't want us around, because we're not going anywhere. Even if they arrest us, even if they kill us, even if they jail us, even if they do whatever they do, want to try to do to us, including this platform, who has taken it upon themselves to start censoring Moors on this platform because they don't like what we say. And that is called fragility. And you know what? I think Moors are just as guilty of snitching on what they're afraid of in this country as white people and other POC. But listen, this country, because we are the leaders of the free world, is taking everybody in a very ignorant direction where they don't know nothing and they just react to everything. Trigger happy, snitch happy, infiltrator happy, firing up, you know, putting 3-4-year-old videos on Facebook to get everybody upset without realizing that those videos are 4 years old. They are trying to force a race war that we cannot win. And they're smearing it in our face that they get away with everything that they do to us, including this platform. You know, I don't live in this little bitty box that's all about my transition, that's all about me being transgender, because I happen to believe that being black is what people are looking at before they even know we are transgender or lesbian or gay or queer or intersex or any of the, there's about 20 or 30 acronyms right now. People keep creating them for sexualities, but not gender. But if you are black in this country, that is what they see first. And as I moved from being socialized as a woman to being socialized as a man and being perceived as a man, the level of disrespect that we're getting about this is absolutely astounding. But what people are reacting to me on this platform, see, if I put just transgender safe stuff in their groups, they leave me alone. If I put anything race related on my timeline, share it to groups, all these fragile people come out of nowhere and start reporting me. And the employees of that platform, as this platform as well, will see something they don't like. I'm not committing a crime, but they're acting like the police. So all they got to do is not like something, and we're in trouble. A lady, I'm not going to say her full name, but a lady by the name of Michelle K. Put a live out yesterday that started going viral, and she was talking about these children, these child terrorists that are shooting people in schools, you know, for God knows what reason. And within an hour, somebody snitched on her and they deleted the video. You know what? Because they don't live with this kind of, I can laugh, I can joke, I can do a lot of things throughout my day to keep myself positive, but there will forever be a fire that burns in my belly about the conditions we have been forced to live in this nation. According to Martin Luther King, according to Malcolm X, according to Marcus Garvey, and according to every black leader that we've ever had, has stated specifically that the conditions we live in this country, white people couldn't deal with it for one day. They whine and complain, and they don't realize how easy they got it, how privileged they are. Oh, and I listen to I do a lot of research, okay? I research a lot of things. I don't just live my life for social media drama. So I was watching a man by you know what? I wanted to get his name. He used to be a comedian, and he just passed away last year. And he pointed out that there is a difference between being privileged and a supremacist. Supremacists don't care about the privileged. But see, any little privilege that one has, even if they're transgender, they use it. They will that motherfucker like a knife, okay? And behind the scenes, there's no doubt in my mind that I pissed somebody off maybe a year ago or a couple years ago or whatever, and they're the ones that are sitting in these groups ratting me out every time they see something they don't like. But look, being human means you have to work with people you don't necessarily like. Athletes have to play with people they don't necessarily like. You have family members that you don't necessarily like. You may be married to somebody who has family that you don't necessarily like. You may have friends on your friend list that you don't necessarily like. But isn't the whole goal of becoming mature human beings to love one another anyway? To learn how to interact without being a brat? To learn how to interact with people as adults? Who's laughing? I don't know who's laughing, but somebody just laughed. Isn't the whole goal of being human to learn how to interact and move around in society, whether you like people or not? So this bullshit going on Facebook is just that. It's bullshit. See, if you don't like something somebody says, didn't nobody tell you have to read the post? You can keep scrolling. Didn't nobody tell you need to engage with that individual that you did not like and start trying to argue with them? Nobody tells y'all. I'm also a YouTuber, so I make a lot of vlogs. Well, I make vlogs. Nobody told you had to watch them. But here's the sneaky thing that people are doing out of being childish. They'll watch it so that they can find something they don't like and then try to do something with it. Okay, look. People get a life. Learn how to get along with people. Learn how to play on a team with people you may not like. Find the similarities, not the differences. Oh, Lord, my thing just went kind of dark here. I don't know what's going on. So I said in the last vlog that I was going to make a live and I wasn't going to interact with people and I wasn't going to read comments or answer questions. I changed my mind. So if anybody would like to interact, ask me questions about my life, anything, I'm pretty much an open book. I mean, there are things that I keep private about my life, but for the most part, I am a pretty transparent person, as people know who watch my vlogs on YouTube. So I'm watching for comments. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking or questions. Rodney King said something when those police got acquitted that I don't necessarily agree with. I'm more on the side of that Michelle K woman where I don't forgive this stuff. I'm not going to be forgiving living in a box black person in this country. I was not raised with religion, which was probably a blessing for me. I am spiritual, but I don't believe in the Christian God that the Christian religions that were given to slaves as the only thing they were able to practice during slavery. Me neither what? Me neither. Is that what you said, Anna? Me neither? Hold on just a minute. I'm going to see if I can invite some more people in here. I should play music while I'm doing this. Oh, by the way, while I am doing this, I want y'all to know something. Being pro-black doesn't mean that I'm anti-white or anti any other thing. I basically look at people's character. But there are points, there are some times and some days where I can't stand any of you. And then I just do my best to stay away until I stop feeling that way. I have family members who are Caucasian. I've got friends who are Caucasian. I've got children who are Caucasian. I am the adopted father of a lot of people worldwide. And for whatever reason, they seek me out. We have conversations. And before I know it, they're calling me their father or daddy. But see, my children know, and my Caucasian friends understand where I'm coming from. So I consider them my allies. They don't get in the way when I get mad. They may get a little afraid, but they don't get in the way. And they're basically just watching me. And in the background, I'm chatting with them, and yeah, I'm chatting with them. Okay, I'll take a break from doing this, and then I can come back and do some more in a bit. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, what we got here? Will forgive. Hey, Draven. Uh-oh, what did I just do? I'm sorry, some of these I can't read. Okay, what does pro-black mean to me? It's a difficult question. I put a post on my timeline that if you... Is it still dark? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Where somehow it seems like my phone is darked out. The definition of pro-black, there is no definition. It's all something very internal. And for me, it means, first of all, it means I do not date outside of my race anymore. I don't want to use the word activist because people are using that in a trendy fashion, but I am active in black communities here locally in the city that I live in. I will protect and stand by my black brothers and sisters. I'm just going to use black for the sense of everybody's knows that word for us. That all of my attention and my focus is on gaining the civil rights back that I saw being fought for when I was growing up. I don't pay no attention to white people's rights. They've already got rights. They've got everything in this nation. They are controlling everything. So my attention isn't on other POC. I don't even like the people of color, because this country sees every single one of them differently. And all I know is black people are getting dogged out more than any other person of color in this country. So my attention is focused there and there only. I can be friendly with non-black people, but I am a pro-black Pan-African man. I study and uplift black people. I don't study and uplift white people. We got that training in high school, or I'm sorry, kindergarten to grade school to junior high to high school and beyond. We had to learn their history. I'm about promoting ours. I'm about putting us back to a place where we are having a sense of pride about who we are as a people, since we're getting the shit kicked out of us in this country on a regular basis. I don't care about white tears. I think the Me Too movement has been hijacked by intersectional feminists. A black woman started the Me Too movement, but when it really boils down to it, they don't care when they rape our women. And I'm going to share something with you. I've been raped too. Did anybody care? No. And these white feminists do not care that this nation has been raping black women since we were brought kicking and screaming here. They don't care. All they care is to try to put a black man in jail. But all the white ones that have been doing this thing to them the entire time, they ain't serving no time. They're not even getting indicted. So, you know, I look at that whole Bill Cosby thing and I'm just horrified, because that man is no threat to anybody right now. And a lot of these people coming out of nowhere talking about they were drugged and stuff. Exactly what were they doing in a married man's hotel room at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning? And then how do they remember the details if they were drugged? See, there's something, I smell a rat with that whole thing. And while they're targeting that man because he's black, they're not targeting the white people look, this whole scenario did not start with us. This is centuries of conditioning to treat women like this. Hollywood teaches men to treat women like this. Toxic males teach other males how to treat women like that. See, it goes way, way deeper than him. During slavery, the men were getting raped and the women were getting raped. By who? Who taught this world to be that way? Who taught this country to be that way? Was it us? No, it was white men. So I am pro-black in that I will forgive the sins, if you would. I'm not religious, but the transgressions and the sins quicker for a black person than I will a white person, because they don't ever serve no time for what they do. And if they get indicted and charged, they're going to serve less time because the judges and the judicial system doesn't want to destroy their lives. But they're real quick to destroy the lives of black people. And they're quiet about the destruction of black women getting treated this way by cisgender men. And for people who are in this, watching this live, I don't know how many people are watching it. Cisgender just means you identify with the genders on your birth certificate, where transgender means you don't. So, you know, this is something that's going on in society, and yeah, like that. That's all I can say about that. But let me see what else is going on. Yeah. In school, were we ever taught our history? No. In fact, in this country, they have stolen. Not only did they bury our history and not teach it in school, many of the things we've done that were remarkable things in the history of this nation were actually hijacked by white people, and it's told that they invented it, they created it. We've got some people who are so awesome, black people who are so awesome in this country, but their inventions got stolen, and this is what they do. Our bodies get stolen. How many people raise their hand? How many people have noticed all the people trying to get butt jobs, lip jobs to make their lips bigger? They're not black, but they want to look black, but they wouldn't be black. They wouldn't trade places with us for a day. And I have seen, hey, what up, man? Who is this? Hey, what's up, Rashawn? I thought I saw in Dambi. I can't pronounce your name, man. I think I saw you come in. Uh-oh, I lost where I was. I've seen workshops and seminars where a white woman, I'm not sure why not a white man, but 3 different ones, where white women asked the entire seminar, which had hundreds of people in it, anybody who was willing to trade a place with a black person in this country, raise your hand. Nobody did. So she said, maybe you didn't understand the question. Anybody in this country who would trade places with a black person, literally trade places with them, raise your hand. Nobody rose their hand. So she said, see, y'all know there's a problem, but you're all acting like you don't care about it. Everybody look around and look at everybody and see who did not raise their hand. Every one of y'all know there's a problem here. But you're benefiting from the fact that the problem isn't affecting you. It's affecting them. She was trying to touch a place in them that was pretty unreachable because the camera swung around to the audience and they were all sitting there looking like, it's called apathy. They did not really care as long as it did not touch their lives, as long as they weren't oppressed. They could care less. Hola. Uh-oh, I keep pushing the wrong thing. Who we got here? Yes, Draven. It's not confusing. It happens more times than it doesn't because they target black celebrities. They use them as the poster children for the crimes that they get away with. And then they prosecute a black man who's 80 years old and probably has to use something to even get it up. Look, he's no threat to nobody. They just want to destroy a black man's life. But he's not the first one. He is not the first and he won't be the last. But when you're a celebrity in this country, you stick out like this, right? So if you make a mistake or you do something wrong, yes, he is probably guilty of adultery. Well, not probably. He is guilty of adultery. And he is guilty of, taking advantage of his power and celebrity, these women probably came up to him and thought that they were going to get a leg up in Hollywood to do what they did with that man. But make no mistake, they showed up at his room. They showed up alone, to a man they knew was married, and then claimed he slipped them something in their drink. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. They're just, it's like in the days of slavery. Did you know they used to have, when they were hanging, doing lynchings and stuff like that, they used to gather around and watch it like it was a celebration. Does this sound familiar to you with when you see this shit happening on the media? That now they're sitting behind their phones and their computers and they're watching this sort of thing like entertainment? What they're doing to that man is no more than modern lynching. It's what they're doing. And everybody's watching and almost gloating over lynching that black man. While how many white people have done that to us, to women? You never heard a word of it. Or if you did, you know, all of these, how about the guy, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names, but how about the guy who was molesting all of those athletes, Olympic athletes? Anybody heard a word about what happened to him? We heard all this, you know, we heard all the allegations. But did anything happen to that guy? There's another guy who's a pedophile, raping children. A white guy. Did anything happen to him? Anybody hear anything? No, but when you see a black man on trial, everybody goes nuts with drama. Where is the drama coming from us about what these white men do? That's why I don't give a shit about things that go on with them, because they have the privilege to get away with it. The police have the privilege of getting away with what they do to us as well. The killing of us, which is also modern day lynching. So, who else is in here? Uh-oh. I keep pushing buttons I should be pushing. So, this whole world is going in the wrong direction. It's going in a bad direction. It's going in an evil direction. It's going in a self-serving direction. I did make an announcement that, you know, in a week or so, I'm going to do another live that's going to pull in other people. Because what I have been noticing in the trans men community is that it's all about competition over there. And so I'm distancing myself from that competition, and that we aren't going to unify, we aren't getting our civil rights, and we aren't going to get our transgender rights as long as the whole other half of the community is just focused on themselves and competing with each other. I won't mention who these men are, but I will say I don't even know them. Okay, they responded to something that I posted in groups, and I had a conversation with them. So they're not part of a clique. They're not one of my followers. They're not anything like that. They're just men who, I guess, agreed to some degree to the things that I was saying about trans men in the media. Let me scroll up and see if there's anything at the end. So yeah, everybody's just scrambling to, you know, make ends meet. And in the meantime, nobody is really doing anything unified trans women are, cisgender women are, cisgender black men are, gay black men are, but for some reason transgender black men are just satisfied not being on the radar and then whining, complaining that shit isn't happening for us. Well, that's because of this thing called wanting to be stealth. But we'll talk about that, in a week or so. And it may serve them, but as a whole, it's not serving the community. And this competing for attention, for popularity, and all that stuff isn't doing the community any good either. It's just doing good for that individual. Everyone's so penny. Absolutely, Draven. Who's manlier? Absolutely. Everybody talking about, how long you been on TV? What does it matter? How long have you been around this community? Does that really matter? Have you had surgeries? Does that really matter? And see, the people who have are talking crap about the people who haven't, the men, as though that really is the determining factor for their character. It isn't. How long you've been on testosterone is not a determining factor of your character. Because some of these characters on testosterone are out of their freaking minds. And they don't have any business looking their nose down at people who have been on it less time. And then these ones who have been on it for a decade or two or whatever think they're celebrities because they have. No. I'm looking at, okay, if you're a celebrity, what have you done for the community? And what have you done for your brother? What have you done for people who you don't necessarily know, but you see leadership qualities in them? What have you done to uplift them instead of looking your nose down at them? Like I ain't gonna say it, but ain't nobody better than anybody else because they've been on this stuff longer, they got surgery, they didn't get surgery. Nah. That is not a determining factor of how good of a human being you are to the rest of humanity. YouTube channels. Let me tell you something about YouTube. That platform, you ain't gonna find anybody black unless they're an entertainer or an athlete or something like that who's making money off YouTube. They have changed the bar and they have risen the bar. You have to have thousands, if not millions, of views on your videos to make money with YouTube. Not only that, you have to have over 1,000 subscribers. So don't think people are making money off of YouTube. They're not. But they can make money off of these lives. Did you know that? Every 1,000 views. I don't remember what the number is. But see, I don't do lives a lot because, people are petty around here. And I don't want my stuff getting deleted and all that stuff. And Fuckerbook can't delete my shit off YouTube. They can mess with this life, but they cannot, yeah, YouTube, see, you don't understand how YouTube works, Draven. Donating binders, getting packers, and out doing anything to help. Yeah. Let me see what else you said in there. The fact that some people aren't even on it or are on. Well, again, everybody has a journey with transitioning. And people are going to be in various places. I'm trying to start a business that's actually going to do something for not only trans men in the United States, but also abroad, where we can get them binders, we can get them packers, we can get them things that they have not had access to. But I need to be a business to do it. And so I'm waiting for funding to at least make the business a business. Then I'm going to be trying to hire on a grant writer in order to get more money so that I can do some things for trans men in the United States and abroad. yeah, see, I'm not just looking for doing something just in the city I live in. This business is going to be a national type of business, international type of business. So living your life for just yourself is the definition of being self-centered, selfish, self-absorbed, self. And I grew up, as I became an adult, because of my experience with Alcoholics Anonymous, I was able to learn how to interact with large groups of people, no matter who they were. I have, because of my life, growing up where I grew up, I moved around any community groups of people in school that I felt like being around. There were no limits on who I accepted, who I hung out with, or whatever. I hung out with the jocks. I hung out with the bookworms. I hung out with the nerds. I hung out with anybody I felt like hanging out with. And so I didn't have this thinking that it's just all about me and my little circle of people. My circle of people was everywhere. See, but this is before the internet, folks. Telling you, social media is screwing people up because they think all they have to do is live their job, have a little group of friends, maybe not even a group of friends, maybe just a partner, co-workers, and then that's it. And they're not doing anything for each other. There are groups of men that have carved out a niche for themselves in their community, but their community is the only one they're doing anything for. And who really knows what they're doing for them? Who really knows if that stuff isn't self-centered too? Who looks better? Who has muscles? Like, if you're gonna... Well, it's called, look, testosterone, as our minds align with our bodies, align with the mentality changes that happens on testosterone, I think people swing from one extreme to the other. And then, so there's a whole lot of braggarts running around this platform. It's a competition thing. And men do have a competitive nature. But I have been to local meetings here, cisgender, black, heterosexual meetings here, where the men weren't competing. They were debating some things, but they were trying to uplift the community. So people went to that meeting from all over this area, and it was not a competition. Trans men have not learned the art of being together, truly together. They leave it at the competition stage and they never grow out of that. You know, that's the issue there. They don't grow up. They need to grow up. You know, the average age around the internet is probably in their 20s and 30s. So people are still grappling with maturity, and then you add on top of that transition, and then you have some individuals who don't know what they're doing or saying, or how they're saying it, or who they're saying it to. I don't give two flying fucks where you come from, what you do for a living, how much muscles you have, how long you've been on T, how long you haven't been. I don't care. But I'm just one man. I'm just one person. See, that thing would need to happen times 100,000 in order for it to stop. But if you try to talk to these guys and try to tell them they're ego tripping and who gives a crap what you're talking about and all that other stuff, they'll either report you to fucker book, or they'll report you to the admins, throw you out of the group or whatnot. They are so fragile, trigger happy. You know the drill, man. And I've helped people. I don't tell people that I help people, but I do. I've given away binders. I don't give away Packers because I don't know how to sanitize them enough to just give them away. I don't want nobody to. I mean, I'm STD free, HIV free. I get tested every year by the VA. But I still don't want to give nobody a used Packer that I don't know how to sanitize. And the guys that I would give it to first and foremost, are the internationals that cannot get their hands on HRT. I have a soft spot in my heart for them because they are living under far, far, far worse circumstances than we are here in the United States. So you can't mail stuff as an individual to foreign countries. They may never ever get it. As a business, you have some protections over international shipping, but as an individual, you do not. But like I said, I've put some stuff out there, and whoever wanted it got it. And if anybody did, if they didn't take it seriously and got it, I took it to a local meeting and gave it away there. So, people who need help, well, they're here to get their ego stroked. That's what they're here for. It's an ego thing, man. Their egos are out of control. They haven't learned how to get that under control. So, that's why most of what I see going on in these groups is a lot of ego stroking, ego boosting. When people can do with some humility, being humble instead of bragging, trying to make others feel worse for not being able to get resources for themselves. And as a black man, let me tell you about the pushback going on out there about us. I have known veterans who had gotten top surgery by the VA. And I come along trying to do the same thing, and all of a sudden, these policies come out of nowhere. It's bullshit, man, because I'm black. They are discriminating. But the VA doesn't answer to anybody, so there's not a damn thing I can do about it. Yep, self-centered. Yep, competition. Uh-oh. But, I also put a post in a group yesterday. I'm in group jail, but I can talk in groups that I admin or moderate. But I put a question out there about why LGBTQ plus black people are being so quiet when all this shit is going on in this country. But yet in black groups that are not LGBTQ plus, they are so active. They are talking about this stuff. They are arguing about this stuff. They are being active about the things that are going on when it comes to us, melanated Moors. While in these transgender groups, they ain't talking about that at all. They're trying to keep a low profile. But we're going to end up losing our civil rights, and we're not going to ever get our rights as transgender people if people don't start doing something about it. Start talking about this stuff in these groups. Not on their timeline. On their timeline is a group of people that know them. I'm talking about unifying people you don't know, which is in groups. Oh, they put me in group jail all fucking time. I don't know. They won't tell me, man. They just do it. So they've got either snitches inside of these groups that see something that I post in there that they don't like, and then they put me in the group jail. They won't talk to me. They won't tell me anything. They won't say why. They won't identify who they are. I'll just be sitting there one day, and then boom, I'm in there. I get a message, get a notification that you are restricted from groups. And when you're restricted from them, you can't post in them, you can't comment in them, you can't join them. All you can do is like, the little like button. That's all you can do in those groups while you're in that group jail thing. Because they know I post to groups. I put stuff on my timeline and shove it into groups. It doesn't happen when I post stuff, share stuff into black groups. It only happens when I post things that could be potentially racially charged into groups that have white people in them. Uh-oh. It's thundering out there. Getting ready to storm. So yeah, they've been doing this to me, man, since last year, since the end of last year. Probably after I made a vlog and blew up a couple of groups and the shit that they were doing in those groups, which was racially charged, and they were wielding their privilege. And when I came in and cussed them out, I not only got thrown out of their group, all of a sudden this group jail thing started happening, and every holiday they put me in it. So the employees are in cahoots with these snitches in these groups, and then they're strategically choosing to try to hurt me as much as they can during a holiday. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day. There is no mistake the timing of what they're doing. So yeah, they do. They love wreaking havoc on people's lives, just like they do in society. This calling of the police, when they see something. They called the police on a guy that was walking his baby in a park. A black man was walking his baby in a stroller in a park. And some woman walked past, went past him and called the police and said there's somebody suspicious. No, they called park security and said there was somebody suspicious in the park. Look, this black while walking, black while doing anything, trying to live our lives, and then get these white people calling the police on us. It's fucked up. First of all, they're not getting charged any kind of misdemeanor for making frivolous calls to the police. So, this other black man decided, okay, they're going to keep doing this shit to us. I'm going to do it to them. So he was a real estate investor. This was just 2 days ago. He was a real estate investor inspecting a house he had bought to resell. And some white woman next door came out the house and started telling him he needed to get out, go away, get the hell out of there. So he called the police immediately on her. And when they showed up, and she kept, she was running her mouth. And when the police showed up, he explained over the phone when he called 911 that this white woman was harassing him. And the police came, showed up and went to her and told her to shut her mouth. She looked plenty stupid for calling the police just because a black man was in her neighborhood. White people could not take one day of what we go through. Running while black, driving while black, just showing up. The Starbucks incident. Sitting in a restaurant, and within 2 minutes of those guys being in that restaurant for business purposes, they were meeting a white man. Get the police called on them. They're playing games. They aren't afraid. They're racist. They don't fear for their fucking life. They're racist. And they're just using the system and using their privilege like a knife to cut us, and they don't care because they don't think we're human. Yeah, the barbecuing while black. White woman got upset because her family was barbecuing. You know what happened to her? They threw a big-ass block party in that city. I think it was it Sacramento? I don't remember. It was in California. And so a bunch of black people got together and threw a great big, huge block party barbecue to clap back at her. Look, this is why I'm pro-black. I don't care about those people. I don't care about their discomfort level. We live with discomfort 24 hours a day unless we're sleeping. Even then, there is a threat that some idiot will knock our door down because, something happened out there in public and they followed us home and knock our door down and kill us in our sleep. Even in our sleep, 24 hours a day, we are dealing with these morons all over the country who have got given the privilege to do shit to us just for living, just for existing in their space. Yet they won't give us a space. Let them create reservations for us and see what we do with them. With a little bit of land and a little bit of money and a little bit of power, we will make those reservations thrive. The Native Indians have the Native Americans have a different issue when it comes to those reservations, because they're so deeply rooted in their traditions that they're not able to do what we could probably do if they gave us some land. Ha! Ha! Barbecuing while black. Doing anything while black. I'm sick of it. I wish somebody would. But I have had things happen to me too. In fact, I just wrote an article to either The Root or Huffington Post that was asking for, have you ever been racially profiled in this country? I've been racially profiled in this country since the age of 10. I've had things happen to me on and off for over 5 decades. You think I'm not fucking sick and tired of this shit? But yeah, you don't see me in them groups whining about some trivial thing that is nothing compared to the stuff we deal with on top of being transgender 24 hours a day. I can't hide this, see. Being a black man right now is the scariest thing in the world, but I love it at the same time. Now I'm a target. Now I'm a scary guy just moving around. But anyway, I said I would go live. I'll probably end up, sharing this to people after the fact, because I should have done all the invites before I started the live. I didn't want to do it while in the middle of things that I was saying. But so, stay tuned to the one where 4 of us will be in the live and talking about trans men in the media and why and why not. This is Saturday night, so everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening, your weekend, and we'll see you later.